Roxo Media House.
Coach Meach, he makes it easy. Like he makes it easy in the mornings or whenever we have meetings. He give you like the whole understanding of knowledge of what you have to do on this play and the ins and out of things like during the play. So Coach Meach makes it easy.
This is Frogs Today Daily. Frogs Fall Camp 2022 presented by Dave's Hot Chicken. And here's your host, the voice of the Horned Frogs, Brian Estridge.
Welcome into the Morris practice fields. It is practice number 17 in the books for the Horned Frogs here today. I'm Brian Estridge on the Sunday edition of Frogs Today Daily. If they're here, we're here, and we're glad you've joined us here. It's presented by our friends at Dave's Hot Chicken. Tempo, the name of the game today. These guys were moving fast, folks. And I'm not just talking about running plays. I mean, from station to station, drill to drill, this team was getting after it here today as they start to finalize who makes that trip to Boulder. Coach Sonny Dykes telling us earlier that camp will officially end tomorrow. Then you've got the first day of classes tomorrow. Frogs will take Tuesday off. Then the primary focus becomes the Colorado Buffaloes. We're going to prepare you for that matchup with our show here today with a one-on-one conversation with the head coach. Sonny Dykes is going to join us off the top of the show. He'll be with us here shortly. We'll talk about the quarterback situation. We'll talk about his implementation of his system and how that's gone, and this coaching staff as well. Coach David Bowden's alongside. We're going to talk about a couple of transfers from the Bayou State who are making a big difference for the Horned Frogs. Got a couple of guys in the media room, including Geor'quarius Spivey and Trent Battle, I'm being told now. The running back from Daphne, Alabama will be in that interview room. We'll hear from them. Plus Jeff Wilson reacting to what Sonny Dykes tells us. So big show lined up. Let's find out what Coach Dykes has on his mind, though, first, and we do that next after this timeout. And a word from our friends at Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU, both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
Welcome back into Frogs Today Daily. Of course, we're brought to us by our friends at Dave's Hot Chicken. The head coach kind enough to give us some minutes here today after number 17. By the way, is there an official end to camp in your mind?
Yeah, I think, probably tomorrow is. We'll trade scouts after tomorrow's practice and then have a day off on Tuesday and then get back at it on Wednesday. And so Wednesday will really be the first day of Colorado prep.
And right now, as you look at it, are you happy with the install? Do you feel like you have everything in?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there's always one or two things that you say, well, I wish we had a little more time for this. Or, the good thing is we got some things that we probably need to catch up on, and we can do that pretty quickly. And I think in some ways we're ahead on some other stuff. So, we'll utilize these next couple of days, especially tomorrow, to work a lot of situational stuff in practice. And, you got to cover all those situations that really make a difference in winning or losing tight ball games. And we know in our league, given our schedule, that there's going to be a lot of one-score ball games, and the teams that make the critical plays in the critical situations are the ones that have success.
You've taken over a couple of programs. We've talked about this before, that you felt like you walked into a situation where the talent level was a little better than maybe some in the past.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've walked into some complete tear-down rebuilds in the past, and I don't think this is the case, with this football team. I think we've got enough talent to go out and be competitive every week, and I think we have a very high ceiling, honestly. And so, our job as coaches is to get our players to play to that ceiling, to play to their capabilities week in, week out, regardless of our competition. And I think, that's one of the things to me that a step that we need to take with this program is just, play well every single week. Doesn't matter who you're playing. You can't have those games where you get up more for somebody else than you do another team. And we've just got to be consistent and play to our standard week in, week out.
How fortunate are you as well? We've talked about this, gotten to know some of these assistant coaches, to be able to have a staff that has gelled so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a great group of guys to go to work with every day. I think that's what makes my job so much fun, is to have a chance to work with these coaches. It's really kind of an all-star coaching staff in a lot of ways, and so we're excited to have these guys here. I think it shows what kind of football program TCU has. I mean, these guys could coach a bunch of different places, and they choose to coach here on this staff. And so when you put good players with good coaches and you can get everybody operating at a high level, that's when you can have some success.
You've been meticulous in making sure you don't leave a stone unturned. You run everyone through the tackle drill. You run through mock games. You plan through the travel home and away. Are there still little things, though, that keep you up at night that you go, oh, forgot about that one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's the thing that you worry about. You just don't ever know how players that you haven't coached in the past are going to respond to success or to failure or those things. And so, to me, that's going to be the most important thing this team can do is just have a consistent emotional state, day in, day out, week in, week out, play to play in ball games, and not get too high, not get too low. And as I said earlier, just understand that there's a standard that we have to play to. And the only way you can play to that standard is to practice that way. And so, we're a detail-oriented team from really from everything that we do in strength and conditioning to the things that we do in nutrition, and obviously the schemes that we run. And so, all our practices are organized, and every single rep's important. We don't want to waste any time. And our guys have done a great job of buying into that philosophy and giving us everything they have.
How has – I'm going to call this the physical plant for TCU football. How has this – worked out, how organizationally for you? Has it been all that you need?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got some things that we need to grow into, I think, down the road, and some ideas to increase our footprint and make our program even better. But right now, day in, day out, I mean, we've got 2 outstanding practice fields that are right here that are, some of the best practice fields anywhere in college football. And the facilities have been great. We have a fantastic stadium, a great surface in our stadium. We've got all the stuff that we need here right now, and it's like anything else. We got some ideas to enhance our program and to take the next step. But it's a great setup. Everything is close. Our players are they get to come here and they get to stay here, whether it's for academics, whether it's for nutrition, whether it's for recovery, strength and conditioning, practice. Everything's in a central location, and it just saves time and energy from your players.
I love, too, how you've kind of treated that stadium surface as kind of hands-off. That's almost a game day facility now. Yeah.
I think when you go down there, there's got to be a special mentality you have, and we'll go in there again Friday night, try to simulate our game time going to Colorado. It's a 9 Central kickoff, and so our guys are going to have to sit around and wait a lot that day, and so we'll kind of try to emulate the best that we can and do that late start, make sure guys are used to catching the ball under those kind of conditions, and do it in the stadium. And so I think that we want to save that for kind of a attention-grabbing practices, and our guys, I think, did a good job this past Friday, and hopefully they'll practice the same way next Friday.
I know you want them to work in day-tight compartments, but I know you also allow yourself to look ahead. You got Colorado. Can you give us a quick 30-second overview of what we know about the Buffs?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of new players. I believe they have 23 players transfer out, added a lot of new transfers as well. When you put the tape on, the one thing that stands out is they play hard. You look at their special teams, I believe top 10 kick return unit, top 10 punt return unit. A lot of guys that can make plays. They're well coached on teams. They do some challenging things from a schematic standpoint. Defensively, a lot. Tough, physical, play hard. Defense, again, a lot of new faces, and then a whole lot of new faces on the offensive side of the ball. So, I think we're going to have our work cut out for us in terms of understanding exactly what they're going to do. They've obviously changed offensive coordinators. The coordinator from Minnesota has come over now to Colorado, and it'll be interesting to see what they do.
All right, finally, I would be remiss if I didn't allow you the opportunity if you want to say anything about your quarterback situation here.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've said it over and over, but I really do believe that. As far as the group goes, this is one of the best groups I've ever been around, just top-to-bottom talent, performance. All the guys have done good things. I think that it's trending in a certain direction. I think we kind of have an idea which way it's headed, and, we're going to let it play out and see if it works out the way we think it's going to. But, I'm not so sure that we'll name somebody. I would imagine all 3 guys will probably play in the first game, and, I don't know that we want to do anybody's homework for them. Going into that first game.
We joked here that, Coach said that everybody else will know before you sometimes because you're so close to the program and everybody has an opinion, so they think they know.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you ask our players, I think they all think they know too, and that's part of the nature of a quarterback battle. But these reps are really important, so we'll start narrowing the reps down and So it'll be pretty obvious who's the starter and which guys are going to have what roles as we move into the first game.
All right, thanks for the time.
Okay, appreciate it.
There it is, Sonny Dykes, the head coach of the Horned Frogs. We've got a lot more we got to still do here, including a look at a couple of guys from Louisiana that have transferred in here to TCU. We'll talk about them next when Frogs Today Daily continues in a moment.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Welcome back into the day's show. Let's get some reaction to what Coach Dykes just told us here outside of the Morris practice fields. Let's go to the indoor facility right now. By the way, the team more than likely in the Samba indoor tomorrow with impending weather here. Jeff Wilson is there with reaction to what Coach Dykes told us. All right, let's start with that quarterback situation. Again, not showing his hand, Jeff. Give us your thoughts on what he had to say.
Yeah, Brian, let's not bury the lead here. You know, Coach Dykes, you asked him last question, the walk-off question about who the starting quarterback might be. And he said it's trending in a direction, but he also said that he doesn't want to. They may not name a starter because he doesn't want to do Colorado's homework for it. And also he said that all 3 might play. Now maybe that's another smokescreen to throw at the Buffaloes, who I'm sure are watching Frogs Today daily, trying to glean as much information as they can about their season opening opponent. But it is interesting, you know, we during the tempo drill today, all three quarterbacks, Chandler Morris, Max Duggan, and Sam Jackson, I think that's the order right now, we're on the field doing stuff. So it wouldn't be a surprise if Folsom Field 2, 15, and 16 were on the field at some point.
Yeah, it still remains to be seen who that starter is. One transition, though, that he did talk about was practice, how it's starting to transition. Give us some insight into what else you heard from the coach as we gear up now for Colorado here.
Sure. I mean, he said a lot else, but it all is kind of geared toward they're doing game situations and getting ready for the season. And Coach David Bowden wrote about this at frogstoday.com, which you can subscribe to for $99 for a year. It's a bargain. You're not going to get any better TCU coverage anywhere else. Basically, they're going through game situations. You know, certain downs, 2-minute drill, 4-minute drill, downs and distances, special teams, and then I think you saw some of this Friday night under the lights at Amon Carter Stadium, and you'll see some more of that this weekend when they do on Friday when they do another mock game. It's going to be, you know, little things like where do you stand during the national anthem, and where do you stand on the sideline, and just little minuscule things that are part of a game day and part of a team being successful and running its sideline operation. So it may seem meticulous, little minuscule stuff getting down in the minutia, but you know what? All that stuff adds up to wins and losses. And this schedule that TCU is faced with, you know, Colorado, Tarleton State off week, SMU, a game that's going to be an emotional game for those guys across the Metroplex, and then you dive into after an off week, you go into Oklahoma. It's going to be a tough schedule, and the more you can iron those things out now instead of doing it on the fly when you've got to do game planning for an upcoming opponent, the better off you'll be.
Thank you. That's Jeff Wilson there in the indoor practice facility. Again, the Horned Frogs more than likely in there tomorrow. When we come back, Coach David Bowden's going to join us. A couple of Louisiana guys making some impacts here for the Horned Frogs. We'll get to that after we do this.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain. Refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Back we come here on Frogs Today Daily. It is, of course, practice 17 wrapping up. We've heard from the head coach, Sonny Dykes. We've gotten reaction from Jeff Wilson. There are a couple of guys that are making moves up this depth chart at TCU, making an impact here early on. A lot of new faces on this roster, but two standing out from the Bayou State. And our own David Bowden's on top of that right now. Coach.
Yes, certainly both young men, one from the University of Louisiana Monroe, Josh Newton, who's also he's born and raised in Monroe. Talked about sort of the first time being away here as a senior. The senior cornerback has made an impact both on and off the field. When he spoke to the media after the scrimmage on Friday night, just so impressed with the way he carries himself and to come in and to lead, have a leadership role immediately in camp as a transfer is hard to do, but it tells you a lot about who that young man is, and he's really grateful to be here. Understands that there's a lot more resources, certainly at TCU, but just in the Power 5 level alone, and just a really impressive young man. And then you look at Amani Bailey, who came over from the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Here's a guy who's familiar to the area. He was a star running back at Denton Ryan High School, and he is lit it up. I mean, without looking at the film, I'd say a guy who's had certainly been the most eye-catching over the past two practices. So at the scrimmage on Friday night, he ripped off a run for just over 65 yards, and then he caught, he had a vertical, but caught the ball, stuck his foot in the ground, cut across the grain, and had a 70-yard, a little over 70-yard reception for a touchdown. And then he picked up right where he left off at this morning's practice, ripping off a couple big runs during the team tempo period to start practice off. So a guy who's hit his stride right here in camp and has really made an impact. So certainly the two guys coming from the Bayou have made their mark already here in camp.
Thank you, Coach David Bowden there with his best friend standing behind him here on Frogs Today Daily. Coming up, we're going to go to the interview room. A couple of Frogs there. We'll hear from a tight end and a running back. We'll tell you who coming up after this timeout. A word from Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has two locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU, both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
Welcome back in here to Frogs Today Daily, just outside the Morris practice field. Don't forget, if you are a member of the Flying T Club, coming up on Wednesday night is a big event at Joe T. Garcia's. Make sure you've checked your email, check the Flying T Club website for that. Frogs Today crew is going to be out there. We'll be broadcasting live. Look forward to seeing you, along with some coaches and players as well. All right, right now to the interview room we go, where two guys are making their way to the podium. Geor'quarius Spivey, the transfer from Mississippi State, is there, as is Trent Battle. Remember the quarterback from Daphne, Alabama? Yeah, now he's a running back. He'll be talking to the media as well. Let's go live to the interview room for that right now.
Being more Evans, like more into the team, like more as helping the team, like having a chance to help the team out in the run game and the pass game. Very excited, especially when I seen last year when they was using Grant. It was a lot. So when I seen that Coach Dykes came out, I felt like it was a good decision. Like one of the best things that happened to me is him coming in and be utilized as a tight end. I think my best strength are making mismatches with the linebackers and the safeties in the inside. So that's the best thing I feel like in the offense, that's using the tight end and wide flex position. A thing that I want to work on more is more getting better at blocking, better at inline blocking. 'Cause I think one of my strengths is making mismatches with other players. So one thing I need to improve on is inline blocking. I mean, it's been real good. See, Coach Meach, he's my inside receiver coach. So Coach Meach, he makes it easy. He makes it easy in the mornings or whenever we have meetings. He give you the whole understanding of knowledge of what you have to do on this play and the ins and out of things during the play. So Coach Meach makes it easy. Well, the tight end room is very talented. I feel like we got one of the best rooms on the team, especially we got Chase Curtis, we got DeAndre Rollins, and we got Jared Wiley. With the other tight ends, more like Dom and Carter Ware. So we coming along great. I feel like we got one of the best rooms on the team.
It means a lot to me. Coach Jones is a great coach. Him coming from Memphis and me switching positions, he's kind of become a second father to me here. He's been a really good mentor. He's been a great coach. I'm really glad to have him here. It was a little different for me. I didn't really know what to think. I kind of sat and thought on it. But then again, I'm the type of guy that wants to contribute to the team any way I can. We have 2 great quarterbacks in Chandler and Max and Sam and Josh who just came in. So I was kind of like, any way I can contribute and get on the field, that'll help. Like, I'll do it. So, yeah. It kind of did help a little bit. Like, learning the offense wasn't as hard, learning it from a different position. There's still a bunch of things about playing running back, the small things that Coach Jones is still teaching me that I'm still learning. So there's a lot of progress that has to be made and a long way to go, but it did help being a quarterback at first. Yeah. I feel like we're a really talented running back room. Like, if we put in the work and we listen to what Coach Jones has to say and take his coaching to heart and don't, like, get in our feelings about some stuff, we have a lot of potential in there. We can really be a great running back room, and like Coach Jones says, if we put in the work and put in the time, we could potentially be one of the best back rooms in the country. I feel like our line's doing a great job. This is like they're up, like I said, playing for each other. They're playing for us. We're playing for them. When they get tired, we're running harder. When we're tired, they're blocking harder. I feel like it's a brand new O-line, brand new system, and they're getting after it. I'm really pleased with how they've been playing. It's different, yeah. Like, it's some things like I didn't practice. I wouldn't say I practiced like any of these in high school being a quarterback. So it's definitely different. But I was always like a guy that liked to get out there and like to play, and I just love football in general. So being out there, I enjoy being coached. So learning new things like that, I enjoy that process. It's fun to me. I really feel like we don't have a lot of like egos, and there's a lot like everybody puts their pride to the side once we hit that door, and we're all playing for each other. Like, if Monty's having a tough day, I'm behind him. I'm telling him, let's go, let's get it. I'm gonna go out there and go for you. I'm having a tough day. He's like, come on, I'm gonna go out there and go for you. Let's do it. Mari, Kendrick, Corey, we all feel the same way. We're all out there playing for each other and one another. So I feel like we kind of, like yesterday, Coach Jones took us to Topgolf, and it was fun. We all had a great time, and it's stuff like that like we're playing for each other, and we're like camaraderie, and we have a bunch of teammanship.
Geor'quarius, Spivey, and Trent Battle from the interview room there for us. All right, big show here today. Coach Sonny Dykes off the top. We heard Jeff Wilson's reaction to what Coach had to say. Then you had Coach David Bowden here as well, breaking down those Louisiana transfers, and then Spivey and Battle. I mean, this was a big show, right, after number 17. First day of school is tomorrow. They will practice tomorrow. We'll be here for that Monday edition of Frogs Today Daily. Then we'll take Tuesday off, as will the Horned Frogs. And then Wednesday, of course, we're back with you. And then Wednesday night's that Flying T Club event at Joe T. Garcia's. So the week is shaping up pretty nicely, as we get ready for Colorado. Coach said tomorrow, in his mind, the official end to the fall camp. All right. Thank you to all the folks behind the scenes who made this possible. Thank you to our special guests as well. It's Sunday. You know what that means. Yeah, Sunday dinner at Dave's Hot Chicken. See you there.
Frogs Today Daily, presented by Dave's Hot Chicken, is a production of Roxo Media House. Roxo Media House.